Very good evening and welcome to Free TV Primetime News. I'm Tusit Lakma. Now look at the headline first tonight.
Government made protection to farming community. Yoshihito Rajapaksa temporarily suspended from Navy. UN special rapporteurs visit to Sri Lanka. President Maithripala Sirisena assured the farming community that he would personally be dedicated to fulfill the highest responsibility in providing the fertilizer subsidy to them. Addressing a special meeting held with relevant ministers and the members of parliament as well as the representatives of the unions of the farmers at the district secretariat in Polonnaruwa on Sunday, the president discussed the challenge the farming community faces. The representatives of the unions drew president's attention to the issues they face with buying the paddy seeds and getting the fertilizer subsidy. They also presented their proposals and ideas on this regard. President Sirisena pointed out the need to get together with all parties and seek a solution for such issues, said the officials should take proper decisions at the proper time. Nobody can get rid of the responsibility of the people's issues by pushing it to one institution, he said. The former President Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived at the Colombo High Court for the hearing of the bail application of his second son Yoshihito Rajapaksa.
Yoshihito and 4 others are in a remand custody over the alleged money laundering at Carlton Sports Network. All 5 of them have filed separate bail applications against the order to remand them. The bail application was first considered by the High Court on the 17th of February and the court ordered the respondents to appear before the Colombo High Court today. Accordingly, Mahinda Rajapaksa also arrived at the court a short while ago.
Two UN special rapporteurs are to visit Sri Lanka in April after the new government agreed on the proposed dates.
The special rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers, Monica Pinto, and the special rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, Juan Mendes, will visit Sri Lanka on the 29th April 2016 to 7th May 2016. The special rapporteur on independence of judges and lawyers acts of information submitted to her attention concerning alleged violation related to the independence and impartiality of the judiciary and the independence of the legal profession by sending allegation letters and urgent appeals to concerned governments to clarify and or bring these cases to their attention. The mandate of the special rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment covers all countries irrespective of whether a state has ratified the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman or Degrading Treatment or Punishment.
The Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwara requests Indian political leaders to influence Sri Lanka to make the Northern East a federal ruling system.
The Tamils have been facing a political storm since the end of the war, and the best way to overcome this was to change the ruling system to a federal system. He further noted that India has understood the need for a federal ruling in the northeastern province and was ready to help him in persuading the Sri Lankan government.
The Defence Ministry has requested the Navy to halt employment of Yoshihito Rajapaksa, who is currently in prison due to a money laundering case.
This step was implemented upon the request of the FCID. The FCID further noted that this step was necessary to carry out investigations into the money laundering case peacefully and effectively. Yoshihito Rajapaksa will not be allowed into a naval base without approval and all his pay and facilities will be halted from the 28th of this month until further notice has been provided.
"75 Tamil prisoners detained at the Magazine prison decided to stage a one-day hunger strike protest on demanding to fulfill the requests made by the Tamil political prisoners detained at the Magazine and Anuradhapura prisons.
Madhyasaran Sulakshan, resident of Karaveti, Jaffna, and Ganeshan Chandran, resident of Nawalpitiya areas. These two prisoners were detained for a long period, and yet police officials failed to file charge sheets against them. Due to this situation, these two prisoners commenced fast unto death protest on last week, continuing their protest for the 6th day. On Saturday, Attorney General Department announced case against these two prisoners would be filed at Vaunia Court. Since the announcement, prisoners called off their hunger strike protest.
The third national conference of the JVP's youth wing, the Socialist Youth Union, was held at the Sukhdasa Indoor Stadium today.
Vietnam to Sri Lanka, Pan Kieu Thu was among the foreign envoys who addressed the meeting. The ambassadors of Cuba and Palestine also addressed the conference.
Al-Hajj SC will arrive in Sri Lanka on March for a 3-day official visit, during which he will visit the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society's post-conflict recovery program north of the country. The Red Cross post-conflict recovery program, which has been supported by the IFRC and donors from around the world, including the Government of India, has provided more than 21,000 families with financial and technical help to build new homes and re-establish their lives in areas of the north that were affected by Sri Lanka's long-running conflict. She will travel to Jaffna and Kilnochchi and meet with families and Red Cross volunteers involved in the program. She will also meet with the President of Sri Lanka, Maithripala Sirisena, and other high-level dignitaries during his visit. This visit comes following an invitation from the President of the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, Jagat Abesingha. The UN says it plans to deliver aid to about 150,000 Syrians in besieged areas over the next 5 days amid a partial truce in the country's civil war. It said it was ready to help an estimated 1.7 million people in hard-to-reach areas by the end of March. A cessation of hostilities began on Saturday, and there have been complaints of a breach from both sides, but it otherwise appears to be intact, with a key Syrian opposition group saying the situation was much better. The Nigerian government has removed nearly 24,000 workers from its payroll after an audit revealed they did not exit, the finance minister has said. The move has enabled a monthly saving of around $11.5 million. The audit is part of an anti-corruption campaign by President Muhammadu Buhari, who took power last year. Corruption and mismanagement have long been a challenge to Nigeria's growth, and the government has promised to cut costs to face an economic slowdown.
3-year-old Ahmed Mansoor Sharara likes telling stories. He likes playing soccer too, seen here on a local TV channel. One thing he's not is a criminal. But a Cairo court sentenced him to life in prison. The charge? Killing 3 people and sabotaging private and public property during a 2014 anti-government protest. Ahmed was 16 months old at the time, barely able to walk. His father, Mansoor Sharara, appeared on an Egyptian TV show.
The drill received international attention as it was claimed to be the largest and most important drill in the history of the Middle East. Local media reported the exercises include 200,000 troops, hundreds of tanks, over 100 warplanes and other new military equipment. Saudi Arabia military said the move is aimed at checking battle effectiveness and showing the determination of keeping regional peace and stability.
Bangladesh have made a comeback after splitting the partnership between Jehan and Dinesh Chandimal as they smashed 63 runs in, chasing 148-run target in the fifth encounter of Asia Cup.
Sweet position.
Shakib, back to Jehan Jayasuriya and Dinesh Chandimal, was caught in tasking hand in a Mahmudullah delivery. The partnership effort by has settled Sri Lanka strategy in chasing 148-run target for victory. Having lost 5 quick wickets, Sri Lanka needed 50 of the last 4 overs. Bangladesh have set a fighting 148-run target, losing 7 wickets against Sri Lanka in the 5th encounter of Asia Cup. Sabir Rahman initiated his trademark batting style, also propelled Bangladesh total to set the fighting target. Sabir hit a fabulous 8-run knock-off, 40 balls hitting 10 ground-breaking bicycle boundaries and 3 whirlwind maximums before the departure. Shakib Al Hasan added 32 runs off of 34 balls hitting 3 boundaries in 3rd wicket stand.
All run-outs look ugly. Oh, he's got hold of that all right. I think they're picking the slow one really well. And then Shakib done a little bit by the extra pace of Chamira.
A joint networking evening was organized by the Sri Lanka-Singapore Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce and the Singapore Club. The event was organized with the objective of providing an opportunity for members to interact amongst themselves with the Singapore expatriate community in Sri Lanka and senior officials of key government institutions relevant to business. The organizing of this event is in keeping with an objective of the Sri Lanka-Singapore Business Council as a facilitator of business for its members.
And that's all for the Sri TV News today. Once again, we will meet at same time tomorrow. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.